Yeah, I'm trying. I don't think they could see the problems that I was writing up there. Alright, you want to look at the other quiz then? So this means you're going to have seen 2 examples. So let's start with the first one. It's kind of hard to read, but there is a negative in front of that square root. So it's the negative square root of negative 36. Number 1 on this B, the one that we're looking at today. You don't have a copy? Is that B at the bottom, Jacob? Okay, that's not the one. Sorry. Sorry.
If you remember it at the end, I'll give it back to you.
What? Alright. Alright, so square root of negative 36, right? What would it be, Peyton?
6.
Oh, wait.
Square root of 36 is 6.
Is it negative square root? Because it looks connected.
It is negative square root.
Okay.
It's a negative what? Alright, the square root of negative is I, so the square root of negative 36 would be negative 6I. So that would be your answer to that first one. Alright, number 2. How do you rewrite something that's a logarithmic equation? All you're doing here is rewriting it as an exponential equation. Chandler?
Isn't the ax equal to b plus b equals x?
So what would it be here?
One of those.
W to the 12th equals Q. Kind of loops around. W to the 12th power is equal to Q. That's it. Not having to solve anything, you're just rewriting it. Alright, number 3. Everybody got a calculator? 8 plus 7i, go grab one out of the closet. 8 minus 8i. I'll do it by hand, but I want you to do it using your calculator. I is second decimal point. Just type this in with the parentheses and everything. And I'll do FOIL. 64, 8 times 8, 64. And the outer would be minus 64i. And the inner would be plus 56i. And then I have minus 56i squared. 64, this would be minus 8i. This would be plus 56 because negative 56i squared would be plus 56. 64 plus 56 is 120 minus 8i. Did you get that on your calculator? Peyton? No, you didn't.
I didn't start on it.
Don't start on anything. Type it right here. Open that up.
Hey, do you have any batteries?
Just use one of mine. You want one of mine?
Like I can like this is how like I got stolen.
I would be really, really sad.
Your calculator not even supposed to be good.
Hey, you gonna have them
They're back now. Got it? Okay, you don't put parentheses. You're typing this in right here. 8. Oh, you just type plus 7, and then second, and the decimal point. That's I. Close your parentheses. Divide it. Yep. Okay? Any questions about that? Alright. Suppose a polynomial function of degree 4 with rational coefficients has 3i and negative 5 minus the square root of 6 as zeros. The way that zeros work in polynomial functions, if you have rational zeros, you really can't do anything about that. But if you have irrational zeros, they come in pairs. So if you've got positive 3i as a 0, that means another 0 is going to have to be negative 3i. And if you have negative 5 minus the square root of 6 as a 0, then you should have negative 5 plus the square root of 6 as another 0.
it wouldn't be 5 plus the first.
No. It's the conjugate. A plus and minus bi, or a plus or minus the square root of something. It's The A stays the same. The first number stays the same. The only thing that changes is the minus to a plus, or if I'd given you the one with the plus, you would change it to the minus. So these are the two that I'm missing. See? Huh? So the answer is
D.
It's,
yep.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't remember doing this at all.
It's section 4.4 in your book. There's some examples worked out. You want to jot that out?
How do you
Pulled
remember
it out
that?
of your brain. Because I looked it up for somebody today that had an example from D. Yep, it's section 4.4 in your book. Is it locked?
Hey, if it's to the 4th degree, wouldn't you have 4?
It is to the 4th degree. They've given you 2 answers. And those are the other 2 answers. Now, so we're doing a second version of the review that you don't never got the first
I thought that
version.
one I gave you was thick. Yeah, how?
It was just
Okay.
one side.
I was about to say this.
All right, questions?
No, a test I gave.
Okay. Number,
Lisa?
What's she doing here?
number 5, sorry. Suppose an initial investment of $14,000 is appreciated for 6 years in an account that earns 12% interest, compounded semi-annually. Semi-annually means twice a year. Find the amount of money in the account at the end of the period. Okay, here's the formula, and I'll give this to you tomorrow. A equals P times 1 plus R over N to the NT power. So take a minute, see if you can figure out where to plug in the amounts. I'm going to unlock this door. Okay, so we've got $14,000, right? Be careful about your exponents. The interest rate is 12%, so that'd be 0.12. Semi-annually means twice a year. If it said quarterly, you'd use 4. If it said monthly, you'd use 12. If it said annually, you'd use 1. To the 2 times 6 power. Make sure both N and T are in the exponents. You can answer?
Ours is like wrong.
What's wrong?
Ours popped up with 20,000.
Let's see. 14. Hello? I'm good. How are you doing? Well, yeah, hang on just a second. Well, I was gonna see,
Do I need some help? Yeah. Okay, what are we working on? Number 6.
She's gonna have to go over there.
What's number 6?
Oh, it's right here.
Trying to solve the problem.
So you graph the parabola in your calculator.
What?
No.
You know?
You just add in, you just add in 24 excess.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Just put 24 into X though?
I don't want it.
Okay.
Well, we were working on
Oh,
that.
yeah, you
just write that
All you
in.
do is plug that in the calculator and it give you
I'll just see. Yeah, 6 will too.
6, yeah, you just plug it in. That's all you do. All of this.
Yeah, you just plug in 24.
Plug 5 in for X.
Well, you could also graph it in like that.
alright, here we go. All good. Alright, so we've got 14,000 times 1 plus
Okay,
0.12 divided by 2. Hang on. To the 2 times 6 power. I get $28,170.75. If you're not in that, let me see what you're typing in.
Oh, that is a broad thing.
let's see what you're typing in and I can find where your mistake's at. Right? Okay, you didn't get that, right?
I didn't do that, but I already cleared it.
Well, okay, here we, all you have to do is push second, enter.
Okay, 716, did you get your?
Okay, I'm getting it. Did you get it?
That's what I'm getting.
What I answered?
Yeah, that's the, I got the right answer, but it
Well,
was
we
like,
got it
the
because
decimal
it is
places like scooted over.
2,817.
You must have
Yeah.
typed in 1,400 instead of 14,000
Probably,
maybe?
yeah.
Madison, I
So
had
that's
negative 18,000. Look.
Hey, we're gonna start putting this.
Oh, I put X squared. I know it's hard to remember.
You got it now, Hallmark? Oh, don't lie.
He's on. Okay, we're good.
Yeah.
He is on.
I put X.
We're finishing it tomorrow in class.
No, you're doing it right now.
We're doing that right now.
I'll do homework.
Hey, Miss Mason, I ruined your video. I'm sorry. Yeah, my uncle left me like homework like twice. And I was like, nope. He's like, okay.
What?
I ruined your video.
Did you say a bad word? Oh, no, it's not. All right, we're dealing with number 5.
Yep.
Madison.
Don't you just plug in 24
Yeah, I
for
got
6?
All right, number 6, you come to use quadratic model. They give you quadratic model to express how many units of a new product be sold X weeks after it's released. How many units can you expect to sell in week 24? Plug in 24 for both places that has an X.
Okay.
You good with that one?
Yes.
All right. Okay. Hey. That's a bad word. All right. 6 is B. 7. 7 is asking how it's similar to the one where the ball is thrown upward. They want to know, find the height of the ball 0.9 seconds after it's thrown. The one on your other quiz was a half a second, 0.5 seconds. So all you're going to do is plug in 0.9 for T. So this will be negative 16 times 0.9 squared plus 33.1 times 0.9 plus 124.26. All you're doing is plugging that in. Number 7, the answer should be A. We can go to this, but it's not to help people out. We don't have this right here.
I was wondering that, but I wasn't.
They asked me to video it, so I did.
Surprised you haven't addressed the folks at home yet. Yeah.
That was so funny.
The folks at home.
All right, number 8. Sample of 400 grams of radioactive substance decays according to the function A of T equals 400 E to the negative 0.035 T, where T is time in years. How much of the substance will be left in the sample after 30 years? So all you're going to do is plug in 30 for T. And be careful about rounding. And the answer should be C, 140 grams.
What'd you say we did?
Just plug in 30 for T. They want to know T is time in years, and they want to know how much will be remaining after 30 years. All right, number 9. This gave people some trouble.
Number 9.
All right, number 9. All right, because they talk about direct and inverse variation, so it's kind of a 2-step problem. You want to try it? I know I went over this with Jacob the other day, so y'all try number 9, see if you can read it and figure it out. You're going to have to find K and then use K to plug it into the second equation. Go.
Yep.
It's direct variation where it's like V equals K times. Well, it just depends on the problem. It's different with every single problem.
What? How the heck are we supposed to know?
Well, if it says it varies directly, you put times. If it says varies inversely,
Very directly in.
Like B. varies directly with being multiplied.
So
As the temperature.
V times T
It's
equals.
like T.
One of the guys that my husband works with, he lost everything in the tornado. His ABU uniform, Air Force uniform, was found 123 miles away.
123?
That's
How
pretty
far
good.
away is that?
Like near Memphis almost.
Oh my god. How did they find that?
I don't know. I guess it had his name on
That
it.
is crazy.
That's a lot farther than where it was at.
I was watching this thing on the news and they were like, look, they found their cat. And I thought it was dead. I'm sorry. Showing the dead cat. And it's like,
So where it was
Oh, is
found.
that black and white? I saw in black and white.
yeah, it was like, they just like picked it up.
My
Yes,
grandma
I
said-
was like, hello.
They're probably joking.
Ooh, no, but it's stupid not to show that.
She said, I don't know how they find that out.
That's just like,
Probably the smell.
suspect open, then use your cat's tail, you can bury it.
Big half all of it.
Crazy.
Basically, I don't know this.
Okay, yeah, 9 out of 10. I need the equation and then I can do
I'm gonna
Alright.
pick B for Brooke.
B for Brooke. There you go.
Oh my gosh,
D
this is
for
working.
nobody. D.
All right, number 9. It says the volume of a given mass varies directly. So you always start out what they say, V equals K. If it varies directly as the temperature, that's going to be times T. If it varies inversely as the pressure, it's going to be divided by P. Whatever it varies directly is times that constant K, and whatever it varies inversely as, it's divided by that. So they say, if V equals 91,
Could you not give us that equation in the beginning?
No.
Can you write that on the board?
no,
Why?
when T equals 140
You're killing me.
and P equals 20.
See,
it.
you gave me that equation instead.
Done.
Sorry, then find the volume when T is 220 and P is 20. That means we're going to have to use this and figure out what K is, and take K and plug it in over here. So how do you find K?
Times 20.
Times 20.
What is that?
1820 equals
Oh, no, I just know what the
140K divided by 140. K is 13. So you're going to come over here to find the volume. You're going to do 13 times 220 divided by 20. You get 143. The volume be 143.
So if it was inverse, what was that?
If it said inversely as the temperature, the T would go on the bottom. If it said directly as the pressure, the P would go on the top. It changes. Whatever it says directly with goes on the top. Whatever it says inversely with goes on the bottom. Okay? All right. Number 10. Write the slope-intercept form of the equation that has a slope of -5/9.
I thought we were way past this
I don't know
stuff.
how to do this.
Okay, the final exam covers everything.
No, I meant like 10th grade. I thought we did like slope stuff.
We also did it in chapter 1 in this book too. All right, so I know it has a slope of -5/9, and I know it goes through the point 53. Y'all know y equals mx plus b, right?
Yes.
So I'm going to plug in 5 and 3 for x and y, and -5/9 for m, and figure out what b is. First of all, looking at my choices, it has to be either A or C, because those are the only two that have a slope of -5/9,
It's not good.
right? You could also plug both of those into your y equals and look at your table and see which one goes through 5/3. That'd be an option if you want to use a calculator. But if you want to figure out this equation, it'd be 3 equals -5/9 times 5 plus b. That'd be 3 equals -25/9 plus b. Add 25/9. That'd be 52/9 equals B. So the equation is y equals -5/9 plus 52/9. Let me see. Alright, 11. Okay, what do you do when you've got one log? Yep.
Oh, I know this
Positive.
one.
Sorry.
So it's C.
The answer there is C, yeah. Okay, I've got one log written with products, right? So I've got to separate it. It's going to separate into sums. So it's going to be log base A of x squared plus log base A of y plus log base A of z squared. But I don't want to leave the exponents. So I take those off and bring them to the front. So I'm looking at 2 log base A of x plus log base A of y plus 2 log base A of z. Your answer for 11 would be C.
No possibly the easiest one.
And people are putting times in between them and answering D. Or I've had some A answers where they move the 2 like here. All right, 12. This was like, I think 51 on your review, and a lot of people were having trouble with this. I don't know if it's because it was just at the end and they were done, or if they really didn't understand it. So, how long, 12, it was like 51. How long will it take $4,100, so that's what you're starting with, to grow to $47,900, that's what I'd end with. I'm going to be using this formula because it's going to be continuous interest. So it's PE to the KT, and I'm looking for the T. So how long will it take $4,100 to grow to $47,900 at an interest rate of 6%? I was wrong.
Yeah, it's gotta
It's
use.
compounded quarterly, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, let's change this. Quarterly be 1 plus R over N to the NT. All right, so we're starting with $4,100. Is it 6% compounded quarterly? And I need to find out T. A lot of people today, when they were working on this, they figured out they could just take this side of the equation and plug in the 4 answer choices and figure out which one gave them the right amount of money. And that's one way you can do it. But how would we solve it if we had to really solve it? We didn't have choices. Not yet. Divide by 4,100. You get like 11.68 equals, okay. I'm going to natural log both sides. And some people, I'm going to log both sides. Some people natural log both sides. It doesn't really matter. You get the same answer. You either log both sides or do natural log both sides. And then take this off and bring it to the front. The log of 11.68 is 1.067. This is 1.067. 4t times this. The log of 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4 is 0.006. Now what? Divide by 0.00.
Hey, future reference,
Yep,
if you like your students, leave more room on the
sorry. Divide by 4 and get t is equal to 44.5.
I'm gonna need a magnifying glass to see this.
It is.
What? That's another
It's
answer. It says
4,100, 47.9, interest rate 6%, compounded quarterly, round number of years to the nearest hundredth. Here's the problem, I kept rounding along the way. What if I did log of 11.68 and I didn't round that? Divided by log of 1 plus 0.06 divided by 4, get an answer, and then divide that by 4. I get 41.27. Is that 41.28? I guess that's what's going to have to be. If I don't round these numbers off, I get 41.2711, which is pretty close to 12. So this main one, which is the right answer, you may want to plug in the answers for T, just in the original problem, and see which one gets closer to giving you that amount of money.
Oh, we can
What was
just
the
do
answer
that?
to 10?
I was just doing that.
Put it in the where?
See? Like,
All right, 12.
see what that is.
Make 13.
Put a zero there.
And whatever equals plus that's rounded.
Our 13 is a quadratic equation. X squared minus 12x plus 32 equals 0. You can use the programs on your calculator. I think ACT has a quadratic equation solver. There's quad 4 if you want to do that, quad solve. Or you can factor this, or you can use quadratic formula. I need two numbers that multiply to be positive 32 and add up to a negative 12, negative 8, negative 4. Set them both equal to 0. Your answers are 4 and 8. You can also plug into the original problem to see what could I plug in. Would 4 squared minus 12 times 4 plus 32 equals 0? And it would. Would 8 squared minus 12 times 8 plus 32 equals 0? The other options, if you plug them in, wouldn't give you 0. Alright, 14 talks about doubling rate. And I'll give you this formula too. But the doubling rate formula is K times T equals the natural log of 2. Right? If the population of a certain country doubles in 7.79 years, so that's the T. Divide by 7.79. That should give you the interest rate. Natural log of 2 divided by 7.79. And I get 0.0889, so that'd be 8.9%. Alright, try 15 and 16. Just look at them, see if you can figure those out. Domain and range. Domain is your x's, range is your y's. 16, if you got negative exponents, they move around. You had all day today in class, 3 days? Huh? Go see if, Christopher, can you get my keys and go out in the car and get her gymnastics stuff? Can you go outside with Christopher Ellison? You've got black pants and blue shirt.
Why do I have to go?
So you know where your clothes are at, right?
No.
I think they're in the front seat.
Okay.
Because then you need to change for gymnastics and Miss Watson will take them. Okay? All right. Okay, this is 15. They want to know the domain and the range. The domain is what can your x values be? And the x's go from negative pi to positive 2 pi, including both sides. So domain is negative pi to 2 pi, which means your answer can be A or D, right? And the range is your y values, and they go from negative 3 to positive 3. So your answer is A. Nope, D.
Oh my gosh, I just scribbled that. I was like, I don't know.
You bastard.
Just explain it to me. It makes perfect sense.
Okay, 16. X to the negative 3, y to the 11, over z to the negative 7. If it has a negative exponent, it changes where it's at. There's Christopher at, he just had these on his math homework. Alright, x to the negative 3, it's going to go to the bottom and be x to the 3rd.
What class is he in?
7th grade math, I don't know. Z to the negative 7
Oh,
goes to the top.
Teacher would have given me that 7th grade, but like,
common chord, got 11. Z the 7th on the top. Okay? So if it's got a positive exponent, you leave it where it's at. The only ones we're changing are the negative exponents. They move from top to bottom or from bottom to top.
Oh, you keep Y at the top?
Keep Y right where it is.
Okay. Can you explain that one more time?
Okay? This has a negative exponent, which means it has to change positions. So it's going to go to the bottom and come next to the third.
And, okay.
The Y is going to stay right where it's at. And the Z has a negative exponent, so it's on the bottom, so I need to move it to the top. Make it Z to the 7th. And I think they write in alphabetical order, so they write Y to the 11th, Z to the 7th, over X to the 3rd. Alright, 17. Composition of functions. Okay, if f of x is x plus 3, and g of x is x plus 1, they want us to find, g of x is equal to x plus 1. They want me to find f plus g of 3. That means I've just got to plug in 3 for f and 3 for g and add the two answers together. So if I plug 3 into the first one, it'd be 3 plus 3, I'd get 6. If I plug in 3 here, I'd have 3 plus 1, which is 4. 6 plus 4 is 10. It has been a long time.
Oh, they're fighting.
All the time.
Oh, they're playing with this.
Where's your shirt?
Oh my god. I took it with me and I just left it in there.
Duh. You want to
Y'all listen to my mom.
You listen to your mom.
No, I'm not doing her work.
You're a mess.
No, I'm not.
Yeah, you are.
I don't know what 90 plus 90 is. 180.
Oh my gosh.
That's better math than some of the kids in my class can
I
do.
thought you didn't know what 90 plus 90 is.
I know what it
No,
is.
it's 90 minus 90.
Give me one.
What's 7 times 7?
Oh. 300.
Yes. Good. Okay, here we go. Alright, this is y equals 7 minus x. You're in front of the video camera right there.
Hi.
Y equals 7 minus x is what this is. So if I'm going to find the inverse, it becomes x equals 7 minus y. And I might be done. Some problems, all you do is switch to x and y and you're done. But this one, they write it in function notation, which means I've got to solve for y. So to solve for y, I'm going to subtract 7. So I get x minus 7 equals negative y. Divide by negative 1. You get y equals negative x plus 7. So it's the inverse function is negative x plus 7. They're going to write it 7 minus x. Same thing. That's confusing?
Yeah.
Hold on, I forgot to change
Just
the
like
next
change
slide.
everything. We change it to x equals, and then we change it to y equals, and then you change it back, but then you flip it. Yeah.
You switch to X
My
and Y
mind
and then you
just
solve
turned
for
like
Y.
5 different ways.
Switch the x and y and solve for y.
It
That's
makes
all
me
you
mad
do.
that the Y is an X at one point.
And then it
It's just
disappears.
another X.
It's the same two X's.
Alright,
Is it?
number
It's really
19.
an X and Y.
Same.
You've got the log of y to the 61st power. What do you do when you've got an exponent with a log?
You do nothing.
You do nothing.
No, you don't.
I do. Will this take us longer than 50 minutes to take this test? Yes.
The answer is the exact same.
You take it off and you take it to the front. So it's 61 times the log of y. What?
I don't know what life is.
What
That's not
is
what you
up
have?
with that?
Oh, that's what I got.
See?
Just be.
Yeah.
Alright, vertical asymptotes. How do you get vertical asymptotes?
boy.
That's
Okay.
the
It's
zero
been a while.
denominator.
Alright, vertical asymptotes.
Oh man.
Okay. It's the zeros of the denominator. Man.
Guys,
Okay, no. You go to the bathroom.
I don't know how
Okay, come here. I'll undo the button that you gotta go to the bathroom and change.
but no one look at me.
No, 18 has to be B because eggs are connected.
Okay, go to the bathroom.
Thank you.
Okay, the equation is f of x, g of x equals.
I thought she said that it had to be negative.
Alright, x plus 8 over x minus 9. So if I gotta find the vertical asymptote,
Question.
We're not talking about that.
I didn't say you were talking about it.
We gave
You
that.
give that one.
Look, 18. And you have. 18, isn't it D?
Yeah.
You do have.
With the I.
18 is B.
How
Because
is that?
X has to be negative. Which that's the exact same as
They're inverses of each other.
If we, like,
So you just
okay,
put
so
that as negative one.
before the test when we had the, whatever, the asymptote, I went to ASCBB and they gave me this paper, can I use it? It's kinda helpful, I'll make copies. It's really helpful.
Well, see, she's got a notebook. She writes the paper.
I'm just wondering, like, it helps, even though I didn't do that well on that one, I didn't fail that test either. It was only because I lost paper.
Also, that's math test most people ever take.
Yeah,
Yeah, make copies.
I can.
Why didn't I pick a career that this was all math?
I never have to take a math class ever again in my
I know, if I pass this one, I don't have to take another math
She's
class.
working Bob's Burgers. So it's
You are too.
Bob's Burgers.
Yeah, that's a TV show.
I have my schedule.
You're doing nursing? Oh, I take statistics for nursing.
Wouldn't you have to take another math?
Yeah, you definitely
Alright,
have to
yeah,
take
I
it.
think
Take
Mom,
it.
I
don't think she took your advice.
I'm taking
Yeah,
statistics.
you definitely have to be
next
good
semester.
at
Alright,
Taking that.
the zeros in the denominator will be our vertical asymptote. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the denominator, I'll set it equal to 0,
Guys, be quiet.
add 9 to both sides. X is equal to 9. That's our vertical asymptote.
Is it regular?
Okay.
Is that x equals minus 0?
X minus 9 is equal to 0.
Just work at David Burgers or a spot.
There you go.
There you go.
No math ever. Except
Except
maybe
change.
like how much people need that.
Change. I had my boss do that for me.
I'll be
Yeah, I didn't pay attention to anything.
Alright, horizontal asymptotes. We're not there yet, but let me go ahead and give you the notes for horizontal asymptotes. Horizontal asymptotes. If the degree of the numerator is less than the degree of the denominator, then y
Equals 0?
then y equals 0 is your horizontal asymptote. That would be like if I had x squared plus 5x plus 3 on the top, and I have x cubed plus 8x squared on the bottom. The degree of the numerator is 2. The degree of the denominator is 3. If the degree of the numerator is smaller than the degree of the denominator, y equals 0 is your horizontal asymptote. If the degree of the numerator is equal,
That was the new card.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Yeah, remember we had a note card that way test?
then y equals a over b is your horizontal asymptote. That'd be like if you had 2x squared plus 5x plus 8
and I still made
and 3x squared plus 7x minus 6. It'd be y equals 2/3. It'd be the coefficient at the top and coefficient at the bottom.
Whoa.
What number is it?
Oh.
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
If the degree of the numerator is greater than the degree of the denominator, there's no horizontal asymptote.
Have you ever seen Charlie Brown?
Yeah.
That's all I see.
This is, look at problem, since we talked about vertical asymptotes, I thought I'd go ahead and do horizontal, which is 37. So look at 37, see if you can figure it out. Flip over there. And then we'll go back to 21.
My job is to make sure he's not giving up.
So,
You just missed it.
it's for when x is less than the bottom.
No, I didn't do it right.
Equals, then A, right here.
I didn't do it right.
You did not do it right.
It's not equal though.
I know,
Oh.
I'm just running through my options, don't yell at me.
So is it the first one where you go?
Possibly.
You're so cute.
Wait, is it A?
What is it? What number?
37.
Oh, I can just watch the video.
Hey, did you check with Miss Watts and make sure she can take you?
Yes.
Okay.
Is it A?
Do you want me to braid your hair?
Okay. They have to like make me like wear have a ponytail. So I have to have one. Or I'll get in trouble. Well, not in big trouble. They'll just give me a ponytail and then it'll be all fun. And then after gymnastics, I have to go to swimming class. Do I?
Not today.
Oh. So maybe on like May something.
Alright, let's look at 21. Fact of the polynomial.
Wait, we didn't even
What?
find out
Oh,
the answer.
37. What's the answer?
Hey!
Hey.
Oh, sure, I asked you that.
Alright. Alright, 21. We've got x cubed plus 3x squared minus
Mama,
16x
it's
minus
4:19.
Okay.
Have to
You
go.
wanna go ask her if she's ready?
Okay. Oh.
You need shoes.
I think you're just in your
Why did I?
That's a cute outfit.
My mom has that blue and white jacket.
No socks.
Like jacket up that dress, and I look just like her.
That word
If you got any questions on this, let me know. Alright. Okay, we gotta find the zeros of this. Now, here's what I'd suggest you do. I put this in your y equals. Your possibilities, remember the factors of 48 over the factors of 1. So your possibilities are like positive -1, positive -2, and 3, and 4. But here's what I do. I would just put this in your y equals and go to your table and find any zeros that are readily obvious to you.
And it's -48.
Which one?
-48 and 4.
Negative 48 says 0?
Yeah?
I don't think so.
Oh, on the x says 0. 4.
So 4 is a 0. Anything else?
No.
Mama, it's 4:20 and she's not in her room.
Miss Doss?
Miss Watts. Is there a light on? Check the workroom. And check Miss Nelson's room. She's one of those places. Check Marina's
Right
room.
here today.
Oh, okay, never mind. Check the workroom. Okay, 4 is 1. Look, your choices are -3, -4, and 4. Or -3, -4, and 6. Or 3, 4, and -4.
I'm seeing the zeros.
Oh,
-4,
-3
-2.
and 4.
Okay,
Oh, and -4. Sorry, I didn't go
so
up.
these are my zeros. Okay. Find them. I go to your y equals. You got this typed in. Okay, go to the table. Just second graph. And find. Okay, so 4 gives me 0. And then we'll go up because your choices will
So
give you
it's this in orange.
-3 and then -4. Okay. Those are your zeros. Which means your factors, if 4 is a 0, then x minus 4 is a factor. If -3 is a 0, then x plus 3 is a factor.
Marina's room was dark and the thing was closed. And in the workroom, there was no teachers.
Miss Watts lights on
Yeah.
in her room.
Yeah.
Okay, she's not left yet. She'll be back. She'll get you.
But when people were laughing,
Okay. Do you want to call her and see where she's at?
yeah, that'll be okay. I guess.
That'll do, I guess.
It'll leave.
Here, go out in the hall and call her.
Okay.
Is it out of
Yes, it's
Okay, go out.
What
in
if
the-
she still not call?
Okay, see if she answers, and then ask her where she would like you to meet her. Okay, questions about that one?
love doing your last year, or like the ones you did at your house. You're like, I'll take care of my kids later. So they were fighting. They were fighting.
She just got mine.
They weren't hurting each other. And
She didn't call me.
okay, hang up.
She didn't.
Hang up.
Okay, I said end.
Okay.
Wait, so what was the answer?
What is an IP address?
No.
What's an IP
It's
address?
like for
Computer.
computer location.
What was the answer?
Or like, say, it's basically
Bees,
computer's
that
ID.
isn't here.
You were yelling in the last video.
Hey,
I'm not yelling now.
So my dad's trying to order something off my computer, or I am on my dad's login.
I'm Miss Visa now too.
And it won't let me because it's on my computer. But it's my dad's email address.
Oh. They think they know.
But I understand, like, why can't you use different accounts on the computer? And I'm trying to get, like, when you join, you get 50% off. So I've done my stuff on
Oh, this is combining.
Okay, it's just combining like terms. The key here is there's a minus between these two sets of parentheses. So really, you gotta subtract every single thing in that other second set of parentheses. So it'd be minus 7x squared, and then it'd be minus a minus 7x, which would make it plus 7x. And then minus a negative x cubed, which would make it plus x cubed, and then make it minus a positive 6, which would be minus 6. This minus between here means you have to subtract every single thing,
But this switch.
which changes this to the
That's all
minus,
you had to say. It just was
changes
wrong
this
now
to the
and you were
plus,
yelling.
that to the plus, and that to the minus. Now combine like terms.
Ugh.
And you get C. I don't know where she went, Allison. Did you talk to her this afternoon after school and tell her you're riding with her? Huh? You sure?
Urban Kid 21 started following you. Got that notification like a year.
All right, how do you do 23? A couple ways you can do 23. 23, C. 23, log base 10 of 100,000. If you're using one of my calculators, you can do log base. Push math.
Yeah. Here she is.
Okay, have fun. Be good. I'll get you at 5:30, okay? Thank you, Ms.
Hey, do I
Watts.
need my backpack?
I'll get it.
Okay. You promised me.
Okay. We can get some math done. All right. If you're using one of my calculators, it has a log base key. If you hit math and you go up, you can type this in and hit enter. If you don't, then you have to do change of base, which is log of 100,000 divided by log of 10. Either way, you get 5.
What was 10? This is how old?
I feel like I hang out.
It's time for revision to come up.
All right, number 24. Log base 6 of x, y. We just got to split this up. So it's going to be log base 6 of x. Since it's multiplying, we separate it into two separate logs. That'd be plus log base 6 of y. All right, 25. How would you do 25? Log of x equals 3.
Wouldn't you put it in that other
In the other form,
so it'd be like
how would you rewrite this in exponential form?
eh,
What's the
10
base
to
if
the
there's
third
not?
power.
If there's not a base, it's 10. So it'd be 10 to the third power equals x, and 10 to the third is 1,000.
Are you gonna write that on the board?
The way you go from one to the other? Sure.
Okay.
24. Did we do 24?
Yeah, I just brought it.
Thank you for paying attention. Sorry.
Oh.
Hey.
Jeez.
All right, 26. We're about halfway to this. Okay, 26 on the left, you've got the log of 3x. On the right, you've got two separate logs. So we need to put those together like we did here. They were together and we separated them. So here they're separated and we need to put them together. So the left is going to stay log of 3x. The right is going to become the log of 2 times x plus 3. now, log is on both sides, that matches. What you need is for the other stuff to match, so just drop log and put 3x equals 2 times x plus 3 and solve it.
Didn't we already do number 27? We should count it off for it, didn't we? I'm gonna make the site.
What she give you?
But it dropped me to an 88.
No, what was you at 75?
Okay,
She gave me a 0 on everything.
go with 26, distribute, solve, and, alright. 27 is compounded semi-annually. We've got $14,000. We get $14,000 that we want to invest, or know how much it's going to earn at 12% compounded semi-annually, which is 2 times a year for 15 years. And the answer is 80,408.88.
I thought we did this.
Did one like it? There's 2 that are almost exactly alike. One gives you
It seems like 6 instead of 15.
what?
Yeah, 6 years and 6.
Oh, the other one? Yeah. And it wasn't written the same way? It was more in words than the other one?
But if you give us that equation,
27 is the.
Okay. Alright, 28. This is a composition of functions. This people have forgotten a little bit. If f of x is 3x plus 8,
You put the F into the G.
put the g into the f.
Okay.
G of x is 5x minus 1, and they want you to find f of g of x. And that means you're going to take this, g, and put it where x was in the f equation. So instead of it being 3x plus 8, it's going to be 3 times 5x minus 1 plus 8. Which is 15x minus 3 plus 8, which is 15x plus 5.
Same.
So you do the last one in for the first one?
Yep, put it where x was in the first one. Alright, 29, if your equation is negative 2x plus 4y is equal to 12, they want to know what's the slope and what's the y-intercept. So all you got to do is solve for y. How do I solve for y, Chandler? You're just going to sleep, you know?
No, I'm wide awake.
I know, would you add the 2x
Add 2x.
first?
Yep, that's good. And then divide by 4. 4y equals 2x plus 12. Divide by 4. So 2 divided by 4 is probably going to be written as 1/2, and then 12 divided by 4 is 3. So the slope is 1/2. The y-intercept is 0, 3. So that's C. All right, the next one, you've got this graph that's looking like this. And they tell you this point right here, it's 1 2. And they want to know, they want you to find the vertex. So the vertex is 1, 2, so that's your only answer, C. But if there was something that was the same, they want to know where's the axis of symmetry. Well, the axis of symmetry is going to be the vertical line that goes through that. And vertical lines always are x equals. So this is x equals 1. And then that's a maximum point. The max is 2, and that happens when x equals 1. So the max is 2. So your answer there is C. All right, 31. Is that 1-to-1? Is something that looks like this 1-to-1? Yes. The horizontal line test would only cross it one time, so it is 1-to-1. All right, 32. We got a rational function. 13/16 minus x. What do you have to worry about with the domain of something that's got fractions? You don't have to worry about everything. You only have to worry about the denominator. The denominator cannot be 0. So what can x not be in this problem?
16.
X can't be 16. So it can go from negative infinity, which always gets a parentheses, up to 16, but it can't touch 16, so I put parentheses. And then it can start again at 16 and go to infinity. But it just can't be 16 exactly. It can be up to 16, and then from 16 to infinity. Everything except for 16. All right, 33. Yep, go to your calculator and graph the function y equals x squared minus 8x minus 20. And I can't see where it ends, so I'm going to change my window a little bit. Looks like it needs to go. My y minimum is negative 10. Maybe I'll try negative 20. Not far enough. Negative 40 maybe. There we go. I get something that looks like this. And this low point right here, if I push second trace, find the minimum, and give it a left bound and a right bound. I get the point 4. Negative 36. Alright. So when we're talking increasing, decreasing, we're looking at x values. It is decreasing from negative infinity until it gets to 4, and it's increasing from 4 to infinity. From 4 on out, the numbers are going up.
I just looked at the table where it stopped.
Okay. You can look at the table. It's a good place to look for. They write increasing first and decreasing second. They did that on your review too. So be careful that you're looking, even though it's decreasing first on the graph in the answer choices, and it's increasing first.
Did you make this test or does VB?
I made one.
Okay. I thought it said they,
Why
like.
do you do that nonsense
The
then? I hate
test bank writes it that way. I don't like type all this stuff out. I just click. I'll take this question, this question, this
So
question.
you choose the
Oh.
And then I say make 8 versions of the test.
How many did they let you choose from? Like, how many questions?
Oh, I got thousands.
Nice.
How many stars?
That's how long our test gonna be?
So you put me basic addition and then like subtraction on that.
Ooh, did they?
Alright, 34 is a division problem, so when you separate it, it becomes a subtraction. So it's log base b, so that's going to be written twice. If it's log base b of 2 over w, I can separate it and be log base b of 2 minus the log base b of w. 35 is just FOIL. That's kind of basic math, isn't it?
Yeah, it's basic and that's really all this stuff. Oh, man.
34 is A. 35.
Why are you so popular?
Yeah, busy person. X minus 5, 5x minus 3. Distribute. X times 5x is 5x squared. Then I'd have minus 3x, and then I'd have minus 25x, and then I'd have plus 15. That'd be 5x squared minus 28x plus 15. 36 is just combining like terms. You can also type it in your calculator with the eyes. Here's a mistake that I get here. It is not multiplication. There is a plus sign in between these two parentheses. So you're just adding. 6 plus 4 is 10. Negative 2i plus 8i is 6i. It's 10 plus 6i. It's not distributing.
These eyes are so confusing.
Yeah.
Alright, we already did 37. 38. You just plug in negative 1. Just be careful. When you square negative 1, you should get a positive 1. If you have trouble with that, you can type the equation in your y equals and go to the table and see if x is negative 1, what you get out. Alright, the next one. I don't know. Let me look. Okay. The answer to 38 is D. You need me to check it? Did you get A? Okay, put parentheses around negative 1 and then squared.
Okay.
Because you're wanting to square negative 1 and get a
Yes.
positive 1. Alright, if this is your function, then your zeros are negative 1, and that happens twice, because this is our multiplicity. So I have a 0 of negative 1 with a multiplicity of 2, and I have a 0 that's 1, because if I set that equal to 0, I get 1, and that just has a multiplicity of 1.
Yeah,
You just set it equal to 0. If I had this, alright, let's just say I had that. What would my zeros be?
Negative 5 multiplicity of 4.
Yeah,
Negative 7. Or 7.
7.
Negative 3. 8.
That's what it'd be. There's not a number to the outside, it's a 1. Multiplicity of 1. 40, can you do slope? I think your ACT program will do slope for you. Right?
Is it y2 minus y1 over
Y2 minus Y1 over X2 minus X1. You got it. You do that one. If the points are 4, negative 2, and 2, 6, it'd be 6 minus negative 2 on the top, and 2 minus 4 on the bottom. It doesn't matter the order that you go, but you gotta be consistent. If I start with 6, do minus negative 2, then I gotta start with 2 and subtract 4. 6 minus negative 2 is 8, and 2 minus 4 is negative 2. 8 divided by negative 2 is negative 4. What? Sure. I'll answer.
No, I know how to do it. I was going to learn about this.
It was a personal.
Yeah. Alright, 41, they just want you to go, if it's a to the x equals b, that would be log base a of b is equal to x, right? So they give you 4 to the third equals 64, and they want you to write it in logarithmic form. So that'd be log base 4 of 64 is equal to 3, which is a. Alright, 42. It's going from 1 to 5, right? So will my answer be A, which is this? Or will it be D, which is this? My graph looks like this. Brackets. It's an A. Don't miss that.
Should make that.
It's so easy if I don't get it wrong.
Confidence. Alright. X minus 8 squared minus 9. What's inside the parentheses is the left and right. It's always the opposite of what it says. So it's minus 8. It's going to the right 8. And out here is the up and down. So it's going to go down 9.
What did you say on the left it was?
Left would be plus and right is minus inside the parentheses. Alright, 44, they made it real easy. You don't have to solve for y on this one. All you have to do is change the y to an x and the x to a y. So 44, since it's y equals negative 2x minus 7, the inverse would be x equals negative 2y minus 7.
Is it?
Yep. You just see. Okay, 45. 3 log base A of Q minus log base A of R.
8.
It's not A.
Is it C?
C. This 3 becomes an exponent, right? And then I write it as just a single logarithm. Q to the third on the top and R on the bottom. Alright, 46. 2x cubed plus 3x squared plus 4x minus 10 divided by x plus 1. Alright? What goes on the outside when you do a steady division? If it's x plus 1, negative 1 is your factor. If they tell you that you've got a 0 that's 1, then you write down 1. But if they tell you the factor is x plus 1, then the 0 is negative 1. And so this would be 2, 3, 4, negative 10. Negative 1 times 2 is negative 2. 3 plus negative 2 is 1. Negative 1 times 1 is negative 1. 4, negative 1 is 3. Negative 1 times 3 is negative 3. You got a
Is that the
remainder.
exact one that was on our other one?
Might be.
I think it was.
Okay. Answer is B. Okay. What is the degree of the polynomial in 47? It is. It is 4. The degree is 4. So the number of x-intercepts is 4. The number of zeros is 4. The number of terms it can have is always the degree minus 1, which is 3. So it can have 4 real zeros, it could have 4 x-intercepts, and it can have 3 terms. B. Alright, 48. This is a tough one. Alright, they tell you that 6 is a 0, so I'm going to put 6 on the outside, and I'm going to have 1, negative 8, 17, and negative 30. And it should go into it evenly if it's a 0. If you try this synthetic division and it doesn't come out even, then it wasn't a 0. Bring down your 1. 6 times 1 is 6. Add. 6 times negative 2 is negative 12. 17 plus negative 12 is 5. 6 times 5 is 30. So you get a remainder of 0. To your left, x squared minus 2x plus 5. So I know that 6 is a 0, and I'm going to find the other two zeros using x squared minus 2x plus 5. You can use quadratic formula. You can use quad 4 on your calculator. I can't factor because it doesn't factor, but if I'm going to do it by hand, which is probably not how, I mean, I know you're probably going to use a program on your calculator that'll solve this quadratic, but if I had to do it by hand, x is equal to negative b plus or minus square root b squared minus 4ac
All of you.
all over 2.
How do you plug that in again?
You can use quad 4. Do you have the quad 4 program?
Was it
There are programs.
this one is
Program. Okay. Oh.
I get 1 plus or minus 2i. So my other two zeros are 1 plus 2i and 1 minus 2i, which is b.
For the quadratic formula, do you want? I use the quadratic formula.
Yeah, I can give you the correct one.
Hey, what's the answer for that?
The answer is D, 1 plus 2i and 1 minus 2i. Alright, 49. Find a polynomial function with degree 3 with 5 and I and negative I as zeros. So if 5 is a 0, then x minus 5 is a factor. If I is a 0, x minus I is a factor. And if negative I is a 0, then x plus I is a factor. Alright, so I'm going to do these two first since they have the i's. The i's have it. Alright, x squared. The outer would be plus ix, the inner would be minus ix, and then the last would be minus I squared. Which is, the plus ix and the minus ix cancels out. And minus I squared is minus negative 1, so that'd be plus 1. So I've got x minus 5 times x squared plus 1, which is x cubed minus 5x squared plus x minus 5. Okay? Alright, 50. Get it good?
I thought it said solve that motion. I was like, yeah, it's an emotion.
Alright, 50 is 9 to the 2x equals 9 to the 17.4. The 9's are the same, so the exponents have to be the same. So it's just going to be 2x equals 17.4. You get 8.7 is x.
What did you say?
8.7 is x. Alright, 51 is, you're going to graph it on your calculator. Oops. Sometimes I hate these things. Just stay with me. It's fine. I'm not paying attention.
Yeah, I think that as well.
Alright. Get something that goes like this. I've got a minimum. Left bound. Right bound. This point is -3, -24. And then second trace maximum. This point is 1/8.
B.
So my answer is that I got a relative minimum of negative 24 at x equals negative 3, and a relative maximum of 8 at x equals 1. And then 52 is just using your calculator, evaluate powers of e. It's e to the negative 0.53 power.